Hey, welcome to this video. In here I'm going to show you how to do matched pairs t-test and t-interval. First, take a look at this example. So this is a pretty interesting science experiment we did on class, and basically I asked two classmates to get in group, and I will assign a piece of paper to each group. Each person will read the whole paper, and the other one will record the time, and then they alternate. And what's on that paper is a bunch of words with different colors. So the words, each word is a color. So for example, a word is red, but it has color in yellow. So just like that. And the first time is you're gonna read the colors, and that will be pretty difficult actually because our brain has already have that system to read what we saw at the beginning, and especially we're so familiar with the language right now, it will be hard to let our brain function and to read the color actually. So the first time is usually longer than the second trial. So the second trial is that I ask the person to read the letter, like what's wrote on that paper, like what's the words itself. So if it's red, then just read red, and that's a lot more easy. But the situation is different for everyone. So that's a very interesting science experiment we did. If you want to do it by yourself, you can also search up on Google and to get a copy of that paper sheet and to do it on yourself too. It's good. It's good to practice your brain. So going back to what we're gonna talk about, why matched pairs? So when I'm doing that experiment, I group each classmate into pairs. So what's the purpose of I doing it? So matched pairs, first we have to identify the meaning of it. It's run both treatments on the same individual or identical twins. And we introduced identical twins concept in previous videos. So basically we just want to reduce as much variables as we can do in order to get a fully prepared experiment result. So we are going to controlling for all other variable. And what we're actually going to do the write-up is the following. First of all, write the purpose of the mu of this experiment, which is to find the mu difference. And the mean difference in time in naming font color in list A and list B is what is this means. And list A is the people who like person A wrote the list and person B wrote the list. So I just shorthand them as list A and list B. So the null hypothesis will be mu difference equal to 0, but we want to know if there's difference between them. Like specifically, we want to know if reading list A will spend more time for you to read list B. So we want to know the mu difference, is it greater than 0 or not? So the name of our procedure is t-test for the difference in matched data, also called as matched pair t-test. And label the alpha, which is 0.05. Degrees of freedom will be n-1. Since we have 22 people total, we're going to do 21 degrees of freedom. And then checking the conditions. First of all, the matched data is from simple random sample. Well, this is questionable actually because I didn't randomly assign two people together. I just asked the classmates to find their partner. So it will maybe lead to some bias, and n is equal to 22. More than 220 people, that's true. And then we're going to create our box plot. So what I did onto this box plot is that I typed all of the data collected from the class and go into my calculator, hit graph box plot, and it generate a box plot for me. And if you want to hit trace, you can also get the 5-point summary data for this. And don't forget to label the x-axis. This will be the time difference, which is a minus b. N is equal to 22, which is median. And data are a little skewed with no outliers. Therefore, t-model applies. Okay, and then moving on to drawing the normal curve. So for this one, I will go into my calculator and go into test. I think it will be t-test we're actually doing the difference in matched pair data. So even though we are collecting two data, but we are doing only one t-test. So don't forget to hit t-test on your calculator, get the following values. P is pretty small, extremely small. So I just approximate that to be 0. And then I drew the normal curve, label the standard error, which is standard deviation of the population over square root of sample size. And then I wrote my conclusion. Since p is equal to 0, which is less than alpha equal to 0.05, we reject null hypothesis, meaning we can say it takes longer to read the colors in list A, but we don't have simple random sample. So that makes our t-model questionable. That makes our conclusion questionable. Okay, and if we want to switch it to a t-interval question, then the first two steps are the same, but the third step, instead of doing the t-test, you're going to go into your t-interval on your calculator, get this interval right here, the degrees of freedom is still 21, and we're doing 95% confidence interval, therefore, for the name of our procedure, we'll change it to be 95% matched pair t interval. And then for our conclusion write-up, it will be we are 95% confident that on average it takes between 45.17 and 60.98 seconds longer to read list A than list B. And notice the way I'm writing this, because the whole interval is positive, therefore I can just say it takes these amount of time intervals longer to read list A than list B. Okay, so that's it for this video. I hope it gives you a good picture on how to do matched pair t-test and t-interval, and hope this little fun science experiment enjoy you a little bit. You can also feel free to do it on yourself. Thank you so much for watching.